And we are live. Yay! We are here to explain a little bit more what we are going to be sharing with you in the Essenes, the Melchizedek and the Essenes live stream event that is coming up. We kind of wanted to explain why we are so passionate about this topic and how this topic came to us and why we feel that it's going to be a topic that's coming up for other people too.
I spelled Melchizedek wrong. I guess that's how it's going to be.
Oops.
There's no L in the title.
Fine. It's fine.
But yeah, for those who are just coming on now, this is a preview for the live stream that we're doing on February 14th and 15th over Zoom.
Yes.
And it is about the cosmic history of the Essenes and Melchizedek. And so we're just going to be sharing a little bit about what that's going to look like, and not going to go too deep because we want to save the juice for the live stream. But yeah, if you have any questions or things like that, feel free to fire them in and we'll check them at some point when we're talking.
Because I feel many people that are on a spiritual journey, they may have heard these words, the Essenes, Melchizedek, what does any of this mean? And more people have a connection with these words than they realize. And also for a lot of people, the names Jesus, Mother Mary, Christianity, all these words kind of have this like conditioning attached to them often, which because you come from religion, or you just have this idea of, I am on this spiritual awakening journey, and there is so much more to true cosmic Christianity than we know. And a lot of people are starting to wake up to this more cosmic version of Christianity, basically.
And it's like we want to go into these kind of higher dimensions around what these words mean as well, because when we think of religion and like the religious conditioning and the split in religious philosophies and paradigms, all of that is correlated to both of these names and both of these family lines. And essentially every religion is corresponding through these families, and there's been karma and conflict that's created all these splits within these family lines throughout these evolutionary cycles. And so I know when I first heard Melchizedek, it was a very I heard it from Drunvalo Melchizedek, if anybody's ever heard his name. But I started getting kind of weird insights and visions around Melchizedek and around like the Melchizedek family, and I just started learning about all this different karma that we've been experiencing and how that corresponds to the mother.
Yes, so we're gonna be, I'm just really excited to be offering this. So if you are now watching this, you're live, or you're watching this as a replay, and you feel that there is this thing inside of you that is wanting to investigate what this means and how the true teachings on a cosmic level, not just on our planet, have been inverted and changed, then this is your soul, your higher self, basically telling you this is something that you should be looking into, because there are many people that are incarnated right now that are connected to this lineage, to these teachings, these original cosmic Christ teachings. And so how did I wake up to all of this, for example? Well, I was in a Catholic school, but my mom was very spiritual, psychic, and I started channeling my guides when I was very young, when I was 13 or something. But I went to Catholic school, so So I learned the traditional Bible, and these stories just never made sense to me. There was always something missing. And then I kind of said no to Christianity. I said, I don't want to deal with this. And I went through what a lot of people go through, is that they completely reject Christianity. And then they go through a spiritual awakening, where in their mind, things like paganism, spirituality, astrology, channeling, psychic abilities, these things do not line up with Christianity. And in reality, they are very intertwined. When you go look at the Gnostic teachings and the cosmic true Christianity, basically. So what happened with me is that I had this experience in the very beginning of this spiritual reawakening that I went through, where I had sleep paralysis, and I had a demonic attack in this sleep paralysis experience. And I don't know, but I was already getting nudges from these Essene masters that I have soul contracts with, that were already preparing me to awaken again to this knowledge, to these more Gnostic teachings of Christian mysticism. And so I was getting all these little things during the day about Jesus, about Mother Mary, and I kept it made me mad. I didn't want to hear anything about it. And then I had this demonic attack, and the first thing I could think of was just to say the word Jesus. So I said the name, and suddenly this being had me basically pinned down on the bed, and it was gone. The energy shifted, and suddenly it was like pure Christ energy in the room. And that was my wake-up call, like there is something about this frequency of Jesus, and I'm in this spiritual awakening. This means I have to look into this. There has to be more to the story. And that's how I started diving into all this Christian mysticism, the true cosmic Christian teachings. And then I found my Aramaic teacher, Dale Allen Hoffman, and I started learning Aramaic. I started seeing the spiritual technology of language and how the Essenes and the bloodline of Jesus used this as a healing technology, basically.
I don't know what else I'm going to say.
Let me just...
I guess it was still about the feminine.
Yeah.
And like how I was so like repelled from Christianity because it was just like void of the mother. And when I started getting in tune with Sophia and with the Divine Mother, it was still that same type of feeling of why is this like so cut out of the mainstream paradigm. And so I think my journey into embodying more of the mother just led me to a place of seeing what you're talking about, how these two names are like the meeting place for kind of like the human soul and the human creativity that has then evolved through all of these different areas of vibration, and it being such a core component of the concept of language and vibration itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're basically going to be tying it all together in this weekend, this live stream event that is going to be 2 nights in a row. We're going to just connect all the dots that we've connected over the past couple of years in a way that I have not seen many other people connect the dots, if I may say so myself. I've seen people tackle certain aspects of the Gnostic teachings, of the Melchizedek line, of the Jesus teachings, of the Divine Feminine. We're gonna attempt to connect all these threads of the spider web so that it will just activate you, and this activation is then going to start triggering all of your own memories. That is basically our intention for this live stream event that we're doing. What I'm gonna be doing, we are also both going to be channeling. So we're going to be giving channeled messages. There's going to be a Q&A. I am going to be going into some Aramaic with you, the language that Jesus spoke, and the Essenes. There's going to be some Essene storytelling of examples. Bible mistranslations is what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to do a little bit of that in a few minutes too. We're going to look at very specific words and prayers and how you can use them as tools for spiritual cleansing, shielding, all that stuff. The feminine Christian teachings and the Celtic Church, and how is the Celtic Church connected to Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and the Holy Grail and the children of Jesus. So yeah, if you have anything to say.
No, I saw someone write a good question in yours, but we can maybe wait for that.
Yes,
until you go through
I'm
this.
going to just do a tiny bit so that you know what kind of stuff can you expect from me. The entire Lord's Prayer, for example, is very basic. When we look at it, it is in English a very structured prayer that leaves little to the imagination, basically. And when you go and take certain words from Aramaic, then it is completely different. For example, and we're gonna get into this whole prayer, the word Lord, for example, in the Lord's Prayer is Abun in Aramaic, and that is a word that basically means mother and father, creator of the entire cosmos. That's just one word, and if you are working with the frequency of this word alone, you can already do a lot of spiritual work. So imagine if you would know this entire prayer and use it as an affirmation every day, as a prayer, as a meditation, what you could shift in your body by simply saying those frequencies to yourself. And that is how Jesus would teach. He did not say this prayer that now came through me, remember this word for word. He said, embody the frequency of this prayer, the frequency of these words, not the translated English version, but the words as they came through him. So that's what we're going to be doing. And another tiny example that I'm going to give now, but we are going to dive into literally the whole prayer in the 4-hour live event, is the word lachma, which is our daily bread. You will know that part of the Lord's Prayer. But of course, we think this is about the physical things okay, we need food, we need a roof over our head. No, this is about your spiritual nourishment. It is about the stuff that your soul needs to feel in alignment with itself and with Mother, Father, God. So that is what that means. Those are just some small examples. And then the feminine Christ, of course. Literally in the Essene Gospel of Peace, there is a part that says one cannot truly know the Father if they have not gone through the Mother first, which means you have to be fully anchored into your physical body, which is a part of Mother Earth. And to know the Father means you have to first get to know the Mother. So that also when we look at babies, they come from the mother, they are nourished by the mother, then they learn and they gain knowledge from their fathers, and there is balance in how a child is raised. So that is the true Christian philosophy. There needs to be balance and harmony. So we're going to be talking about people like Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, but also the daughter of Jesus. And there's a whole connection there with the Celtic Church that we will be diving into. And we're also, I feel this is very important. We're going to look at how can you apply these Essene teachings in a modern way in your life today, so that you can use these teachings for self-mastery and view your obstacles in life as your initiations. So yeah, that's kind of my part of the thing.
I don't think there's that much more to speak on. I mean, we're going to be channeling, the first night, it's a channeled message from the consciousness of Melchizedek. So it's from the oversoul that is the human soul that is known as Melchizedek. And then she's going to be channeling Yeshua the first night. And then the second night, she is channeling who?
We will see. But it's going to be probably either Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, Mother Mary, or the daughter of Jesus, or all of them. Mm-hmm. It is always a surprise.
And then Joseph will be coming through that second night as well. And so this is a interactive conversation that we're going to have. And there's going to be time for question and answers and sharing of ideas and communicating with the beings who are channeling through us.
Yep. So, yeah, if you have any questions or this triggered something, leave them in the comments right now. Or if you're watching this later, write them, because this is all going to be stuff that we're going to be taking with us when we do this live stream, so that when you sign up for this event, you get the most out of it. And we can, of course, now let me maybe go see what some people said. You said you saw a good question.
Someone asked something about Islam.
Yes.
What about Islam?
Yes,
is there
okay.
any truth there too?
Yes, because Jesus is mentioned in the Quran. So in Aramaic, his name is Yeshu or Yeshua, and in Arabic, his name is Isa. He is a very important prophet in the Quran. He is mentioned as one of the more important prophets, and so is Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus, is also mentioned in the Quran. And there's just simply a split where their religion took a slightly different direction. But I have read parts of the Quran translated into English from a Turkish friend of mine that I've had lots of conversations with, that was very devoted to his religion. And he actually told me, like, they were so shocked that we would mock our prophet, meaning that people in the West make jokes about Jesus, or you see the Jesus memes. And he was like, we would never do that about our prophet. So they really respect the lineage of Yeshua as well in their religion. So I hope that answered some questions. They just took a slightly different
We're going to be going
turn.
into all these different religions, because
Yeah.
all of these religions are from different points in time of the human time cycles. And then the events within these time cycles created the Antichrist consciousness, the ones going against the Christ and the ones going with the Christ. And so that's where all of this has been flipped to create a war between bloodlines of who is the Christ and who isn't. And so all of the religious paradigms we're going to be really picking through this event as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yeah. And if you are watching this and you kind of feel this resistance inside of you, like, oh, I don't know, this whole Jesus stuff, then that is your invitation. Because, trust me, like, most of you will have seen this. This is like the most witchcrafty tattoo that you can get. And I got that in 2010 or something. And in Belgium, you could, and in many European countries, you could actually have your name erased from the register of the church. So that's what I did. I found the address of where I was baptized in the Catholic Church. I wrote them a letter, said, take me out of your register. I don't want to be associated with you. I did all of that to then wake up to the Gnostic teachings and now be teaching about them. Mm-hmm. So, yep.
Yes, and we're really going to be going into why the Christ is not just Jesus. Why the Christ is Sophia Christ as well. There's a masculine and a feminine aspect of the Christ. And so if you feel that resistance to Jesus, to the whole thing of Jesus being the one and only, the blood of Jesus, well, that's not what this is going to be about. It's going to be about why that's been implemented, what that's used for, and what the truth of the Christianity paradigm actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of course, like, there are these let's call them Christians, but I don't really feel like they are the true Christians. But when we look at the religion of Christianity, there are people basically going to be saying, oh, if you are not a Christian, then you are not going to be saved. So who says that Jesus is the only Christ? Of course, that is the most ridiculous thing. Like, that is not at all true. So, yeah.
And, yeah, it's really just like this concept of the Christ and how the Christ is manifesting more, how we can feel this in our life as well, and what it would look like to embody these types of things from these organic, family, devoted lifestyles.
Mm-hmm. And I see that people are also asking about the extraterrestrial connections with Christ consciousness, with the Christ bloodline. These are things that we can definitely really dive into when we have 4 hours together during this live stream, because you are going to be in a Zoom call with us where your questions about this can come up, and we can really create a space for all of those questions. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. So now you have an idea of what you can expect if you join this live stream event.
And the link to join is at our link trees in our bios, on our profiles.
Or if you see this anywhere else.
It's $88 for both nights. That's 2-hour Zoom call each night, so a total of 4 hours. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or on the website, the Golden Dragon Temple.
Mm-hmm.
So find it. And yeah, if you have questions when you watch the replay, put them in the comments. And we are going to make sure that we can offer you a cosmic remembrance of the true Christ teachings.
We'll see you there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.